Howdy guys. So I have I think this is a Ford ECU here that was sent in to me, and somebody had already opened it and tried to do a little work, and they ended up damaging it. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It was a big glob of solder there, so I cleaned it up a little bit earlier just so I could see what I was working with, and it's actually not too bad. So they ripped off this pad here, and they ripped off the gate pad here, which we can see has a test point that went here, and also the gate resistor here is missing, and it's missing its pad. But luckily we still have this pad, and we still have, it connected through the through hole there going to the other side of the board. So it's pretty simple. um, this pad here is going to be connected with these other with these other ones, probably with this one and maybe one of these. And oh, I see it's also missing the current sense resistor here. This 0.033 ohm resistor. And these three may go to this one, or it may just be these two, because this one has a lot. So let's see, we have one, two, three, we got 8 coil drivers, and we have 4 current sense resistors. So yeah, probably just these two go to this one. And we can verify that real quick with our equipment. Let me see here. And let's just take a measurement here. Yeah, you see how low that one is, so that's going to be all together. And let's touch this pad here, and they're going to be all together there. And if we come here and we check this one, you'll see this one is not the same. Yeah, that one goes to this one. All right, so pretty straightforward. I'm just going to probably jumper. I'm not going to try to solder to these little through holes. And truthfully, you could probably dig down in here and, find another chunk of copper you could just solder to, but I'll probably just jumper. And this one, I'll probably just put a 1K. I guess it's a 1K resistor. Let's see what this one is. I guess it'd be easier to just measure it. Usually it's 1K. Yeah, that's 1K. And they sent me all the parts. The only things that they sent wrong were the current sense resistors. I don't know. I guess that's a half watt. And I'm assuming this one is a watt. So that's not going to work. But I did have one that I scavenged. I don't particularly carry these because they hardly ever go bad. But I did have one that I scavenged out of another junk computer I have. The only problem with this one is look how big these pads are for it. And there's these through holes here. And I'm kind of worried if I solder that one here that it's going to, touch those, which probably connect with this one. So these probably all connect. So I guess I could offset it. I guess I could offset it like this. Maybe. Yeah, if I did that, that would work. I'm thinking about actually trying to move one of these other ones though. Let me try to move one of these other ones. Maybe there's no through holes under that. So let's just take this one up. And then, I have a couple of drivers to put on there too. This one is glued down. All right, there we go. So that come up. Now let's clean this away. And it's got through holes too. So I guess that's just going to be normal between all of them. I wonder if that hole was to let this stuff come up to help glue it down. Because I see that's on all of them. I wonder if that's how, how that was designed. That's something. Or, maybe it's just there to try to help release heat from the resistor there. I don't know. I really don't know. Let me solder this guy back before we do anything else. I dropped 2 drops of flux and none of it go where it was supposed to go. Alright, so I think I'm just going to do what I was saying before, and that is just kind of offset it. Let me see if it's, okay, so yeah, those two are the same. So if I just offset it, then it doesn't matter if this side of the pad touches it. So let me see if I can remember. So right about here. Man, ain't that something? And the damn resistor is so small that after I place it, really difficult to, make sure there's no short in there, because it's going to look like a short because it's only 0.033 ohms, so it's really small. I was thinking about maybe doing it upside down too, but I'm worried it won't carry the current correctly. Damn, surface tension of the solder keeps pulling it all kind of funky. And now it's stuck. So I was trying to get it straight, but the solder just kept pulling it how it wanted to do. Okay, I think that's going to work. Anyway, like I was saying, I was going to put it upside down, but I don't think that it would work as well. I think because it's just not that much metal there on this side. Alright, so that is done. It doesn't look like they give me a 1K resistor, but that's okay. I think I have tons of them. Maybe not so small, but let's go ahead and put this guy on there first. And let me get my bigger tip for this. Now earlier I did check the other coil drivers and none of the other ones seemed to be bad. And there was one in this position, but it was sitting kind of crooked, so I removed it when I was cleaning. That one wasn't bad either. And I don't have the one that originally they said was bad. They didn't send that, so I wasn't able to test it. So I'm just going to put everything like it's supposed to be and make sure what I put back is good, and hopefully that will get the customer's problem fixed. Man, these resistors are tiny. I just shorted that other one. See right here? Earlier this was all globbed up too. This is the through hole for, oh man, this resistor is no good. It's damaged. That's why it wasn't taking solder. So let's get him out of there. I have to get two 1K resistors. Anyway, this whole area was like globbed over like this. And the bad thing about that is that it's the through hole for this gate uh, resistor. And it was shorted with this, just this ground plane here like that. So, very important to clean up everything really good if it's missing the solder mask like that, because spacing on these things is very small. Very small. Alright, let me see if I can find two of those tiny little resistors. Okay. So this I'm gonna try to reflow this because I think they had tried to solder all of these on there already, and it had some solder on the leg and it made it sit not straight. So I want to make sure it sits a little bit better. There we go. See it pull down. Okay, that is good. Alright, so I'm going to pause this while I look for two tiny little resistors. Alright, so I think I found a couple of these tiny little 1K resistors. Let's move this thing around, get it a little bit more comfortable. And let me see if I can wrangle this little guy. Okay. I'm gonna set him there. I have no idea what this size is, but it is mighty small. Doesn't help when your solder doesn't stick for this little stuff. There we go. Alright, so let's check this one. And I'm going to check it by coming over here on the test pad, and I'm going to put one probe on the leg, the gate here of the transistor. And I was calling that a drain. This is a transistor, so this don't have a drain. I forgot what they call it for transistors. I always call everything MOSFETs, so I always use source gate and drain. Transistors are different. So you have I guess you have base, collector, and emitter, I believe. Anyway, let's get this next driver on here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and solder that guy up. And let's smear him around in this flux here. Okay, and we're going to drop him in right there, just like that. Okay, uh-oh, slipped on me. Let's keep him away from this area because this area has no solder mask. And I want to keep it close to this little pad because what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to just run the resistor from here to there. And I was actually thinking about getting a bigger resistor, but didn't really see one that fitted what I wanted to do. So let me see how this little guy is going to look there. Look at that, he's going to be perfect if he doesn't stay stuck to my tweezers here. My tweezers have this rosin flux all over them. Let me put some alcohol there, try to clean them. Okay, and it still wants to stay stuck. Come on. Alright. Now if I could just get that to stay right there, I'd be very happy. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to drop a little bit more flux here because I don't want to have to do this twice. And I'm going to tip my iron just a little bit with solder. Okay. And I'm going to be pretty liberal with getting it down there. I don't feel like it's making a good connection, so we're going to try to do a little bit better here. Uh-oh. Now he's sliding all over the place. See, this resistor is acting like the other one. That was bad. Doesn't want to take solder. I'm going to try a different one. I had pulled out two because one of them looked kind of funky. And I think that was the funky one because it wasn't taking solder again. So I want to clean this up because I have a sticky mess there. Okay. And let me get my little tweezers. Drop a little bit of flux here again. And let's try another one of these little guys. Hopefully this one works. For some reason the last one just didn't seem like it was soldering down. See that one did. That one soldered good. See? And it made that connection good too. Yeah, so something was wrong with that other one. Alright, so that is it for that. Now for this guy, there's really no point trying to solder to that. So I'm probably just going to run a jumper. Probably just going to run a jumper from this one to this one. Since we know that, they were the same. But I want to make sure that that resistor I put in was 1K. Alright, I'm going to go to this through hole and the leg, and there we go. Alright, so resistors are good. Connection is good. Now to do the jumper for this. And we want a pretty beefy wire. And I reckon I'll go straight to the current sense resistor rather than to the other transistor. I can't find my wire. There it is. You know what? I'm just gonna go to this transistor because it's easier and you have a lot more stress support on this leg than if you were to try to, put it right here on that guy. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I get it soldered good. Make sure it's not loose or anything. And I'm just going to run it up here on the top. Probably cut it about there. Okay. And then we're just going to kind of fold this one down. And that's it. That will be the jumper for that. Okay. And you see I bent it in place so that there's no stress. Right? I'm going to put a lot of solder there, make sure we got a good connection. It's ugly, but you know, it's good. Now I'm gonna redo this side because I want to make sure it doesn't have any stress on it. So I just, you know, I'm not holding it in position anymore. Now I'm just letting it go where it wants to go with the solder. I do want to kind of straighten this up a little bit. There we go. And I don't like it to sit on the package itself, so I lift it off a little bit. I think that is good. Got a little bit of solder here that I want to get up. Okay, and I want to touch up, I think we're pretty much done, but I want to touch up some of this stuff because I see I guess they were trying to solder it. I'm not sure. The customer says that they took it somewhere local and that person tried to fix it. So I'm not too sure what happened. I guess it doesn't matter too much because we have it to do now. All right. And I don't think they mess with nothing else. All those little resistors look good. Let's see. I want to just go around the board, make sure nothing else was damaged. So right here we see, I guess where they were opening it, it slipped. So just want to check this stuff. You know, I've seen a lot of times where screwdrivers slip and will smear this solder and make it bridge. Make sure this is okay. Looks fine. Make sure everything over here looks okay. Looks good. Good. Don't think nothing went there, so it's good. I'm missing some little capacitors there. They don't mean, you know, they don't mean much, so we'll just ignore that. Check around here. Everything looked good. I don't think nothing went there. We can see screwdriver slipped again right here, but no damage. Everything looks good. Still good. And we're all good up here. Those guys look like they get mighty hot. Don't know what they are. Let's give them some new solder. They look like they get hot. I don't really know what they do though. But they look like they might want to come loose one day. I'm not super familiar with this style ECU, the Continental ones. I usually don't work on these too much. I think this is a Continental. So I'm not sure if these ever become a problem or never hurts to reflow these big fat resistors like this though. Because these are typically the ones that will give you trouble for cold joints and stuff like that. In general, you know, I don't know about this module, but in general, man, they're everywhere. These big resistors here. But then for our gate resistors, they use the smallest possible resistors they could find. Alrighty. I think that's going to do it for this, guys. I don't think there's too much else to do. I think maybe just clean it up. Put some conformal coating over that stuff I worked on. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm almost out. Yeah, I got a couple of drops out. That's enough. That's all you need. This stuff goes pretty far. And I just want to be able to cover up this area where the missing the solder mask mostly. And real quick before I seal it up, I want to make sure I didn't just bridge these two. No, I didn't. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, so that is it. That is all I'm going to do for this one. I'm going to go ahead and seal it back up and clamp it and ship it back to my customer. And I will see how it goes. So yeah, there it is, Continental. Yep. All right, until next time.